Hello everyone. Today's topic is how to take control of our own mind. Never mind this noises. Uh, I read a long time ago. If you want to control your mind, give exercises to the body. This is one of the important thing hatha yogis do. Those who strictly practice the higher level of yogic postures that actually exist in the older time. I think it was in some autobiography that I read. If somebody is in need of a clarity regarding something and they want to meditate, and if they cannot do it that easily, there are few things that we can do. From my own personal experiences, from the suggestion from the divine as well, that I received in last few years of my life, it is to fast. The first thing is having an intention that this is what I wanted to do, desire. Second thing is fasting, because it releases lot of negative influences from the earth. Earth is a dimension, it's a three dimension, it's a realm that touches both upper realm and lower realms. Basically what it is means it's like a, I wouldn't say yin and yang, but it is something similar, because there is a positivity, there is negativity as well. So as a soul, if we remember our actual identity, that we would only want to choose what is positive, because what will come out of negativity? Nothing. So it's always better to choose what is good for us. And how do we know what is good for us? It is because to understand that, it's always wise to tune in with the divine for the guidance, for the support, and all good things that we could receive. In order to do that, it is like, if somebody having a 200 kilo backpack, they would struggle if it is invincible for them. That feeling of burden, guilt, shame, whatever, it energetically, if there is still there in the consciousness, it becomes that kind of a thing. And it's better to release all of those things and meditate. When we meditate, when we let go of that extra burden from the shoulder, it becomes easier for us to clearly connect with the divine. How to do that? Just as I said, having the intention. Second, practicing fasting as much as we can, because it releases a lot of things. For example, there are a lot of people who personally understand this fact that when they craving for something really sugary, like there are people who have been addicted to eating sugar. When they are stressed, when they are happy, they go for this cakes and sweets and stuff like that, because it's just an addiction that they don't even realize that it's a craving. Even people going for a particular place to eat coffee in the morning or breakfast in the morning, it's just that it's craving. It is not from them, it is not them. Especially those people who are too much into processed food, lot of sugary things. This is how it is. And they themselves realize, if they go cold suddenly they decide that their life is important than any food, and they suddenly go cold and consciously remove that habit, just a week is enough for a lot. Even if somebody is too much addicted to it, just a week cutting that off from your life and having some good food, like drinking a lot of water and consuming positive things, positive thoughts, positive companionship, positive food, raw food or home cooked food, that concludes like basically good food that's good for the body, soul, energy, spirit, every single thing. And cutting that social media away, having, if there is any addiction, for example, if somebody has a habit of gossiping around, or a social media, or too much indulging in anything, keeping that away, just a week of it, it gives the result. I don't have to guarantee. This is a personal experience of not just me, many people. I have seen so many comments. It's a natural to browse through things. So I have seen these kind of fasting videos where people have mentioned that how much it helped them. Even if you are a religious person, you can see all the religions suggest fasting. This is because fasting releases that negative connections that if anybody has with the earth. And when that released, these people, when they complete cut themselves off from that sugary treats and stuff, well, in a week, in a 10 days, they suddenly feel like they're no longer craving for it. They're not craving for it any longer because it was not them who were craving for it. It's because you can call them parasites. It's an energy form. Sometimes it's actually in a small physical form. It comes through food. It is just an energy that we need to release, cleanse, purify. So, in order to do that, fasting is the fastest and a best method to do all of those things. Along with that, having some healthy food. People who can comfortably eat raw food, they can find a solution because of that, or something simple. I wouldn't even say, you don't have to eat raw if you're not into that kind of thing, but at least including little bit more of salads in your food, eating fruits, and cutting out all the external food, and cutting that sugars, oil, and those kind of things, and completely cut off from that processed food, and eating what cooked at home in a healthier manner, and releasing all the negative belief system. It's the very best thing, and it immediately shows up in a belief system. This is how we can change a lot of things in our life. So when we do all of those things, it becomes clear for us to make a decision regarding our life, regarding this and that and every single thing. So this is how we can release ourselves from a lot of negative connections from our life and take a benefit out of all of those things. So when we can control our mind, we can do a lot of things. So releasing that kind of negativity from our mind, from our energy, and from our body by doing all of those things, fasting, eating healthy, and having good companions with people I wouldn't, it's always better to speak in positive statements, who would be speaking good about others and themselves. It's very essential to speak good about our own self. We do not need to speak, praising words towards others unnecessarily unless we really feel that. It is a form of pleasing others, like a people pleasers. It's very essential that we fall in love with our own self and appreciate all the things that we have, and appreciate our every features, every qualities, and notice it and be glad at it. It is not an ego, it is self-love, it is self-preservation, because universe notices these kind of things, that falling in love with our own self means we acknowledge. Imagine if somebody is standing on the podium and 1,000 people are acknowledging it, how would that person would feel? It's an amazing feeling, isn't it? Yes, our souls also recognizes that when we acknowledge our own self, our soul, our energy, universe, free will, everything works in our favor. That is why it becomes easier for us to control our mind. So if somebody has a problem controlling their mind, giving exercise to the body and releasing all the bad habits, eating habits, the consumption, all of those things is good. Making the decision, going for a fast, eating healthy, doing exercises, going for a walk, going for a gym, whatever it is possible for. The people know everybody's life is very different. So whatever things can be done. So by doing that, by giving exercises to the body, it becomes a little bit easier to control our mind, and when we do that, it becomes an easier path to meditate. This is exactly problem of a lot of people, because they want to meditate but they cannot. Even myself, I have experienced just yesterday. I couldn't meditate more than for a few minutes. There are a lot of other reasons also there. I'm generally speaking, this is how we can control our mind and sit down and meditate. By doing that, we receive that guidance from the divine. Divine has a different way to communicate with us. If we are in a that kind of entanglement with the positivity, divine always reaches out, even if you are not in that meditative mode. It's okay. But when we are in a meditative mode, that realization comes. So this is good, this is bad, this needs to be changed in our life, this is my priority, that is how it is, it needs to be done, that is how it is. Lot of things, like a loving parent, they would suggest lot of things. So this is really, really, really helpful. It could save literally decades of your lifetime, because there are a lot of people who spend decades on certain things just to feel the regretfulness No, if just somebody would have just nudged them, I would not have done this, they would not have done this, whatever. It is not the regret that stays. It is just that they can basically save their own time. They can literally do all sort of things that they want to do with the time without wasting. Idea of wasting time is also very spiritual. I'll talk about it another time. We do not waste time on earth. We learn things, we adopt, we embrace it, we become better, we become closer to our higher self. That is how it is. So there is no concept of wasting time. So there are a lot of things that's very spiritual that it seems like a very shocking thing to people who are not spiritual, or even for myself, it used to be very different. That's a topic for another day. Today's topic is very clear. This is how we can control our mind and make decision and meditate and directly connect to the divine in a deeper, very clear way. So we can choose what is needs to be done in our life, in our path, to create a life with less resistance in our life. That is how we can make our life more happier, more easy, more satisfying, more uplifting, more abundant. I hope it helps.